Yo, what's going on everyone? My name is WowShane and welcome back to Your Favorite Game, the show where we talk about your favorite game. And today's favorite game is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, also known as CSGO. Our guest today has opted not to be on Facecam, so they'll be represented by this picture instead. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy what you're watching. Today's guest is Their Food. Their Food, why don't you tell the wonderful people about your favorite video game?
Hey guys, I've been playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive now for going on 5 years, maybe 6. Been a game that I've left and came back to for both good and bad reasons throughout my life. Yeah, it's been a go-to for me, staple in my rotation for pretty much my entire gaming life.
This has been something heavily marketed on Steam. It's always on the top selling chart, even though it's a free game and everyone picks it up, but I've always avoided it until the show. And we're gonna get into that a little bit later in my thoughts and inputs, but I just wanted to say that I've finally played this game.
It used to not be free. So it was like a $15 game back in the day, and they went free to play to get a more general market, and now they sell like a $12 or $15 thing to get Prime to get the better matchmaking. With the introduction of CS2, I think they're going to hold to the same kind of style. I'm super excited for that transition as well, because not only are we getting an upgraded graphic engine for our game, but like we're getting better shooting mechanics, better smoke mechanics, and so on. And like you said, for a free game, it's pretty crazy how marketed it is now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't this game start out as like a Half-Life mod or something like that?
Yeah, Half-Life 2. It was originally, was it 1.6 or Source? I don't remember which one came first. I want to say it was Source. Yeah, it was Source, then 1.6, and then Counter-Strike Global Offensive. But the Source mod was like, it didn't have matchmaking. Everything that you did in it was super community-driven. And like people loved the mod so much that they made 1.6, and they gave like the ability to create servers and the ability to do all this stuff like internal in the game. And as it blew up, and like people loved it, they realized like, hey, we can push this and we can monetize this, and this can be like an actual game standalone. And that's how we got Global Offensive. And the introduction of skins and like cases, like you can love it or hate it on the like gambling and like corruption that came along with that, but like it changed the kind of the world of gaming as we know it. So
tell me about CSGO. What makes it your favorite game, and what keeps bringing you back to it?
So there's an edgy air to it. You get a lot of people that are college age or high school age or like young adults and that are very like dark, and like the humor that's in it is so good community wise. But outside of the community, which is heavily toxic in some regards, but outside of the community, the mental game behind it, the strategy, the like just pure mechanical skill that it takes when shooting is something that brings me back, because it's like every game is different. Every single match that you go into is different. Every round will play out differently. So it's like always a fresh and new experience every time I load up the game, regardless of who I'm playing with or what random teammates I get or get against. That fresh element, I guess it hits the dopamine kind of thing that you get from social media like TikTok. I just want something new every time, and this game gives it to me.
How do you play CSGO? Are you casual, competitive? What's your favorite game mode?
I play it relatively casually. I only do MM. I used to do a bit of Face It, but I hit Global like 3 times over. I'm Supreme now. It's not really something that I take super serious anymore. I just play for fun. But like I said, it's good for chill vibes. The community's great. I love just being able to load up a game with some buddies and just have a good time. It's probably the best PvP experience that you can get in gaming right now.
If you had to add something to CSGO, what would you add?
Oh, see, so this is something that a lot of people that play Counter-Strike are not gonna agree with. But I want seasonal rank resets, because right now, players can get global and camp global. They'll toggle between Supreme and Global, but like you'll hold it. Matchmaking means nothing, so tons of people move to external clients like ESEA and Faceit because they want a more in-depth experience, a harder experience, a better experience, and seasonal rank resets would give that climb, something similar to what League of Legends, Smite, other PvP games do. I would love to see map rotations alongside that. We used to see map rotations back in the day, like more consistently, and every once in a while we see it, like they move it to the not active duty, but it's still a playable map. We also used to get operations every year, and operations, for those that don't know, were these events that you could purchase almost like a battle pass, but alongside it giving you a battle pass and unique drops, weapons, cases, etc. that came along with that operation, you had missions that were PvE, sometimes PvP, things that you had to do while playing the game, like get Molotov damage, get kills with a sniper rifle, things like that. And like that existing in alongside what Counter-Strike was always such a fun thing to me. And every year that we've went without it, everybody has been like, it wins next operation. So I would love to see more consistent operations, and I'm hoping we see that with Counter-Strike.
So the only really competitive game I play is Rocket League, and with the seasonal rank reset, I definitely understand what you mean by that. But in Rocket League, for example, it doesn't really do too much. Like, every single time I place, I'm going to be basically the same exact rank I was when the season ended. But maybe for a game like Counter-Strike or something that's more action-oriented rather than Rocket League, whatever you want to describe that as, it might be different. I don't know.
I think I would compare it closer to like League of Legends. When they do a rank reset, it resets everybody back a little bit. Like everybody that played ranked will lose a bit of MMR or ELO or whatever you want to call it. So when you replace, you'll always place a little bit lower, but like everybody that was at that skill group is placing at that same rank. Typically, like if everyone wins their match, you're all gonna place like just a slight bit lower. So, you know, if you're diamond, you're placing like high platinum or low diamond. And then like you're naturally gonna climb your way back up. There's not gonna be like a crazy, like everybody's set to 0 and like globals are fighting silvers, because like that would be unfun. But like having a seasonal rank reset that has like, say, a top 500 bracket similar to what like Overwatch does, or like Apex, where it has the Apex Predators, where there is like, you have the top tier, but there's the top of the top tier that is a limited amount of people. And offering rank rewards, like even just like a display pin or like a particular case, and like things like that would have like exclusive skins or exclusive displays or like a cosmetic background for your home screen. Anything. You could give anything for a rank reset, and then have that be an objective goal. So like, you know, season 1 is ending in like X amount of months, I'm trying to get gold kind of like thing, right? But you would also have that equalizing factor for people that like, they feel like they're hard stuck in silver, and they feel like they, you know, oh, I always get bad teammates. So every time the rank reset comes around, it pulls them up a little bit. So if they constantly get stuck low silver, then like it helps you realize, you know what I mean? It can't always be your teammates kind of excuse.
If you had to remove something from CSGO, what would you remove?
That's hard to say. I kind of feel like it is kind of a perfect game for what it is. It is the best tactical shooter that exists, hands down. I will hear no dissenters. I don't know if there is anything you could remove. I think if you removed anything, it would ruin it.
One of our new questions to the show. What is your favorite and least favorite part about CSGO?
My favorite, it's got to be the community. The community. I've met more people playing Counter-Strike that have been long-term friends, like for 5+ years, than any other game, and it all started with talking a little bit of trash. And I love that most people don't take it so serious that you can just have fun with it. Least favorite is that the community sometimes doesn't take it so well and will just throw your game if you make a joke. Like, as an example, if you throw a flashbang and you flash your teammate and then you say something like, I don't know, get effed. Some people they mute you and then just start like team killing you and throw in the game. And like that's more of a community thing that I don't think there's any way to police in an effective way. So it's like, it just is what it is. You take the good with the bad, right?
And for this next question, you can answer both of them or just one of them. It's completely up to you. What is your second favorite game, and or what game is most comparable to CSGO?
I'll start with most comparable because I think that is the elephant in the room in Valorant. I recently, I talk a lot of trash on Valorant because I'm not a fan of Riot, and I'll save that for another time, but I gave it a go. I wanted to give it an honest chance because I've played Counter-Strike for years, and I've always heard people say how it was just a better game, and I can honestly say hit reg feels bad, gunplay feels bad, the character abilities feel bad, but as far as like the general what this game is, it is Counter-Strike. So like, if you want Counter-Strike but you want abilities and updated graphics, Valorant is the game for you. And if you never come from a background of playing CS, then Valorant isn't going to feel bad to you. It's going to feel good. It will feel good to the general player, for sure. Now, second favorite game, probably Warframe. It's a game that I've played for about 10 years. I've been on a break for about 6 months now, but TennoCon coming up soon has got me pretty excited for it again, which is a just real weird juxtaposition comparatively to Counter-Strike, going from a aggressively competitive PvE game or PvP game to a very casual PvE game. But it's one of those, like, you can just hang out with your buds and get in a watch together or listen to some Spotify and shut your brain off and kill some Grenier, you know what I mean? Like, I love it.
As I said earlier, I completely avoided Counter-Strike and everything involving it for years. I've heard so many negative things about the community that I have not personally experienced or seen, and I'm not here to talk about the community. I'm here to talk about the game. So I'm sorry if me not talking about the community upsets anyone, or me mentioning the community upsets anyone. I enjoyed my time with this game. I put in like a good 40 minutes before the show. I know 40 minutes compared to the thousands of hours people have in this game, and I have an opinion on it. But it's a good game. You know, I was really angry at first when I was playing it and I was getting killed, and I was like, come on, what is wrong? I just fired like 20 bullets into this dude. Nothing happened. And then I started playing a little better, and I started getting it. And I definitely can see where a lot of shooters, like you said, Valorant, got their inspiration from. Like, I immediately saw the comparisons, like buying your guns before the round, and a super small map where everyone has to like rush and either attack or defend a certain point, which I guess is just search and destroy, but I'm not here to nitpick and call out details. Now, here is something that I have not done since starting this show, is play a game for the first time, and then, you know, get my recording for the gameplay done, blah blah blah, move on, and then go back to it. Because I went back and played more in my own free time. So if I had to guess, I have a few hours in the game now. And I didn't know the first time when I was recording gameplay footage that you did not have to do what would be your search and destroy in other game modes or other games. And I played some Team Deathmatch, which you probably see on the screen right now if you're watching the video version of this on YouTube. And it's definitely a lot of fun, and I definitely want to get back into it. Well, not get back into it. I want to get into it a little bit, maybe add it into my rotation of games and put some time into it, because it's definitely a fun experience. And I'm not playing too many shooters right now because I'm bad at a lot of shooters, or I'm boycotting a company of a really big AAA shooter for some of their backstage practices that I will not mention. But yeah, long story short, too long, didn't read. I enjoyed CSGO.
I will say, I think I know the company that you're talking about, and I agree with you, and I'm also in that boat. I think that disregarding company practices and stuff, just looking at gameplay itself, Counter-Strike still stands as like the best shooter. Like I said, I'll hear no dissenters. It's not perfect by any means, as far as like there could be improvements, and we are getting a sequel, and a lot of those things are getting improved. Things like smokes and mollies and stuff like that. So a lot of the gripes that people have on the game, like hit reg is kind of bad right now and stuff like that, all getting improved. So like within the next like 5 to 6 months, we'll probably see a release, and on that release, I don't think there'll be a whole lot of reason to have too many complaints. So I think that now is a pretty good time to get in. I will say I kind of touched on the fact that Counter-Strike is free to play, but they offer a Prime matchmaking experience. It feels a little underhanded that you go into Prime, or you go into non-Prime matchmaking if you don't pay for the game, because non-Prime matchmaking does have a lot of cheaters, and that, I feel like if I were to talk about Counter-Strike and not talk about cheaters, somebody would be angry. Cheating exists in any competitive game, period. Cheating in Counter-Strike used to be really aggressively there, and so a lot of people still use it as an excuse for whenever like they're getting rolled. But the fact is Prime matchmaking, if you purchase the Prime matchmaking, you're almost always playing against legitimate player. Period. Like, there are some, but like I would say 99% of the time, your experience in mid to low elo is going to be legitimate players. Now, non-Prime matchmaking, if you play the game entirely free and you go into matchmaking, you're going to see a lot of cheaters. You will, because you're able to just make an account, a brand new Steam account, a brand new Counter-Strike account, load your cheats up, go in and just blast some people, and that is negative. And but like for anybody that would hear this podcast and think, hey, maybe I'll give Counter-Strike a chance, play some deathmatch, and if you like how the gunplay feels, then it's like $15. You'll catch it on sale sometimes for holidays and stuff like that, and like it's worth the money because it's so cheap anyway, and the people that enjoy the game put in thousands upon thousands of hours for a reason, and you know, you don't get that many hours out of $60 to $70 games, so it's worth the investment.
All right there, Food. Tell the wonderful people where we can find you.
Primarily, you can find me at twitch.tv/theirfood, or you can find me on Twitter at theirfood, or X if you want to call it that. But yeah, theirfood on any platform. Theirfood on Steam. Add me. We'll play some Counter-Strike.
Make sure you guys all go drop their food a follow. And while you're here, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow the podcast, rate us 5 stars, tell your friends. Thank you all so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Their Food, for being a guest. And everyone have a wonderful rest of your day.